You're listening to a podcast appearing on the Two Guys Talking Podcast Network.
This is the weekly Firecast, episode 35. Interview with John, the creator Dilley of DEFCON Sauces.
Strap yourselves in. It's time for the weekly Firecast. This is the podcast for all foodies, those who love food that is cooked over a fire or feels like fire in your mouth. If you love spice, smoke, sauce, and all things savory, this is the show for you. And now, here's your host, chili head and barbecuer, Scott Roberts.
I bid you welcome, all you barbecue freaks, chili heads, hot sauce fanatics, buffalo wing fans. Yeah, you know who you are. Once again, I am your host, Scott Roberts. I'm a blogger and columnist for Chili Pepper Magazine, and I will be hosting the festivities for the next hour or so, and we have another solid episode in store for you today. My Fire Talkers interview for the week is none other than John Dilley of DEFCON Sauces. Yes, he's also known as the DEFCON Creator. Now, if you've been an online chili head for a number of years, you visited the hotsauceblog.com back in the heyday of the aughts, noughties, whatever you call that decade previous to this one. If you followed some of the current hot sauce blogs, including mine, Hot Sauce Daily, the Hot Zone Online, I Love It Spicy.com. If you frequent the hotpepper.com forums, yes, you know John Dilley. He is ubiquitous. He is everywhere. And not only does he create some of the very best buffalo wing sauces ever created on planet Earth, yes, I'm not exaggerating there, but he is also one of the funnest, most outgoing, most enthusiastic people you'll ever want to meet in the whole fiery foods industry. Now, John is certainly memorable in whatever capacity that you see him in. He kind of likes to dress up in a futuristic, all-black costume. It's kind of hard to describe. He describes it as Mad Max meets Matrix. I mean, he's got the special gloves with the lights, fiber optic, the laser pointer things. That's what I'm trying to think of. He's got the evil-looking contact lenses he puts in. His booths are legendary. Now, he's kind of toned it down since Hurricane Sandy. But before, he just had an all-out, tricked-out booth, strobe lights, decorations, everything. It was a sight to behold. Not only that, but he's hosted his wing sauce eating contest that he calls DEFCON Deathmatches. From everywhere from big hot sauce shows like Jungle Jim's Weekend of Fire to some of the more local events in his native New Jersey, or of course the surrounding areas of New Jersey as well. Now, I recently joined him on a video Skype chat. I went ahead and grabbed the audio from that for today's interview, and of course he did not disappoint at all. He's a great guest, a great interview as always. So he talks about everything from the creation of his hot sauces to some of his advice he would give to some of the newer hot sauce companies who are trying to make their way in the world. Now, lastly, about John Dilley, I wanted to mention that he has been on the precipice of unveiling a brand new website for DefconSauces.com. There have been several technical issues. I know he's postponed the unveiling of the site, and I don't know if at this point that you are listening to this that the new site is up, but you know, he talked about it, I went ahead and left it in, because as of this recording, it's still not up, but maybe a couple days from now, once this episode is live and up, the website will be up as always. But whether or not it's the old site, new site, I still urge everyone to go over to DefconSauces.com. And we're not going to have a Ken's Fiery World segment this week. Ken Alexander, who joins me every week, as you probably heard a couple of episodes ago, he talked about how to enjoy spicy foods when he's traveling. Well, guess what? Yes, he is traveling this week. And of all places, he's up in Alaska right now. And between the time zone difference, the internet connection, and just his general busyness, I was unable to speak with him this week. So look for him in coming weeks instead. But don't worry, I think the length of the John Dilley interview will more than make up for it. For my review of the week, I'm going to cover a couple of spicy snacks by a brand called Southern Recipe. One is their hot and spicy pork rinds, and the other is their cheesy jalapeno-flavored cheese curls. I'm always a big sucker for spicy snacks, so I can't wait to tell you what I think about those. And plus, I will give you a, as always, short but simple foodie tip of the week. Couple of quick housekeeping notes for you. If you don't know my blog, scottrobertsweb.com, be sure to hop over there right now. Well, if you can, if you're in the middle of driving or doing something like that, I don't want you, crashing off the road trying to look on your smartphone. Wait till you get home and take a look at it. But anyway, over at scottrobertsweb.com, I am having, as I've been telling you for the past several weeks, a competition, a tournament called the Ultimate Hot Sauce Showdown, where every couple days I pit 2 hot sauces together, and you, the blog viewers, get to vote who you think is the better of the 2 hot sauces. Now, nominations were done back in February, and the top 64 vote getters were chosen, were put up in a bracket, which I have a link to at any of the Ultimate Hot Sauce Showdown posts. But anyway, I invite you to make your voice be known. If you tried either of the sauces, please go over there and vote. And right now, we're still in the first round. But eventually, we're going to get through that. We're going to whittle it down to the top 32, Sweet 16, Elite 8, Final 4, and then finally, the big championship. That's going to run probably all the way through the summer here in 2013. So go over to scottrobertsweb.com and vote today. And also, I've talked about the brand new site for the weekly Firecast. Now, it used to be part of my main scottrobertsweb.com blog. Well, now you can go to weeklyfirecast.com. It will no longer redirect over to scottrobertsweb.com. It will go to its brand new standalone website. It makes it much easier to find all the episodes that you can go back and listen to and enjoy. The subscription links are much easier to find. You can either download, listen to live in your browser, or subscribe via iTunes or your favorite podcatcher. So all that and more is available at weeklyfirecast.com. And since I had done that brand new website at weeklyfirecast.com, I am also in the early stages of redesigning a brand new scottrobertsweb.com. The main blog is finally getting an overhaul. Now, I actually had a redesign contest last summer. I chose a winner. He did a great job with the design, not to tick him off or anything, but the design didn't exactly fit in with the standard WordPress software that most bloggers use for their blogs. He went ahead, he got his prizes, and I thank him very much for his strong efforts in designing a new design. But you know what? The new design for scottrobertsweb.com works. It's fresh, exciting, it's clean looking, and I'm sure most of you will love it. So that's something to look forward to in the next couple months. And lastly, this week, I wanted to mention that the Showtime show Dexter is premiering its 8th and final season on June 30th of 2013. Now, for all you Dexter podcast fans, yep, you can listen to me and co-host Mike Wilkerson talk about each and every single episode over at twoguystalking.com. Just go to the numeral twoguystalking.com, click on any of the Dexter links, as we call it, the blood-splattered trail, to go to the Dexter podcast page, and you can subscribe and listen. We critique all the episodes of all the seasons, going back to season 4, our favorite. And, of course, we're going to carry it all throughout this coming summer of 2013. It's going to be exciting. I loved last season of the show, and I hope they end the series on a huge, huge note, a big bang, a big stab, if you will. Okay, enough of the corny talk, Scott. So, as I always say, that's enough of me chit-chatting. Let's go ahead and get to the regular segments, the regular show segments, here on the Weekly Firecast Podcast, proudly hosted on the Two Guys Talking Podcast Network.
And now, the Foodie Tip of the Week.
This Foodie Tip of the Week is for all you chili pepper fans out there, and I'm sure many of you are. And the tip here, instead of just simply chopping up chili peppers or putting them on a smoker for a couple hours, what I would encourage you all to do is roast your chili peppers. Now, there are many tutorials online to do this, as far as blackening and removing the skin, but the whole act of grilling and roasting your chili peppers will add such a unique dynamic of flavor that you may have never known chili peppers to have. And I know a lot of you hardcore chili heads will want to go immediately for the super hot chilies. Think some of the lesser heat ones, your Anaheims, your Hatch chilies, your Poblanos. Those have a very mild heat, but they are packed so much with incredible flavor. So next time, try roasting your chilies. Give that a try. And then if your recipe calls for some chopped up chili peppers, use the roasted ones instead. See how they go. And you'll often find that there's nothing quite like the really rich, robust, and grilled taste of roasted chili peppers.
And now, the review of the week.
As I said in the intro, I have a couple of spicy snacks from a company called Southern Recipe. One is what they call hot and spicy pork rinds, and the other from Southern Recipe are their cheesy jalapeno-flavored cheese curls. Now, the first one, the hot and spicy pork rinds, admittedly, I'm not a huge fan of pork rinds. It's a snack I usually don't have in my kitchen cupboard, but if the snack is available, I'll go ahead and eat it. Of course, as the name implies, hot and spicy, these do aim to have a little bit of burn. And then taking a look at these, they're a standard pork rind size and shape, kind of the odd puffed pig skin look. They do have a pretty even covering of a orangey, reddish looking tint, not too dark though. But you bite into them, pretty good texture. I would say standard of what you would expect from a pork rind. Flavor is a little bit salty, a little bit spicy. It doesn't delve into the realm of either a cheesy or barbecue profile. It's kind of straight down the line of a general salty, peppery snack. And being a spicy food fanatic, I was not disappointed with the heat one bit. These have a terrific heat. And now don't go expecting it to be on the same level of a Blair's snack. If you're an extreme chili head, and if you're looking for something that would just set the inside of your mouth on fire, you're going to be disappointed. But something after eating 4, 5, 6 pork rind pieces, you are going to develop a nice residual heat, especially in the back of your mouth. And for pork rind, it is pretty good tasting. So this for the Southern Recipe hot and spicy pork rinds on a scale of 1 to 5 gets a 3 out of 5. And now for the Southern Recipe cheesy jalapeno flavored curls. Oh, let me tell you, I love these. Now, what do these look like? Well, they are the more puffed cheese doodles or cheese curls, whatever you want to call them. And of course, cheese curls could be found in either, the big puffed round looking tubular variety or the smaller, bumpier, skinnier, crunchy variety. When it comes to like Cheetos type snacks, I prefer the crunchy variety than to the more airy, bigger, puffed looking ones, which these are. These are orange in color with little specks of green dotting the surface. But of course, all preconceived notions about loving the crunchy variety disappeared as soon as I pop one of these babies in my mouth. These are melt in your mouth good. The cheese sprinkle has just an all-around excellent heavy cheese, a little bit of sweetness when it comes to the flavor tones. And you also get a tiny bit of dried jalapeno flavor. Now, Southern Recipe made an absolute winner out of these. One thing snack makers should look into making, and of course I extend that over into even salsa makers, but especially snack makers, if you make a chip, a cheese curl, beef jerky, what have you, is something I call addictability. Now, if it's something that makes you want to just have one more, I gotta have one more, I gotta have one more. If you can get people to feel that, then you know you have a winner on your hands. And this is very, very high on that addictability scale. It's a very addictive snack, excellent, excellent flavor. And this on a scale of 1 to 5 gets a 4.5, almost dead on perfect. Both of these snacks are distributed by Rudolph Foods. And for more information, you can go online and see what all they have to offer at southernrecipe.com, or just click the link in the show notes.
And now, the Fire Talkers interview.
Joining me on the Skype chat line tonight is none other than John, the creator Dilley of DEFCON Sauces. How's everything going in your world tonight?
Doing well. Hope things are good in St. Louis.
Well, summer's here. Getting the hot weather and, up and down all the time. I imagine it's similar over there in Jersey.
Well, we're awaiting the 17-year cicada horde to emerge from the soil. I cannot wait.
Oh, boy. Yeah. I think it was 1998 when a couple different hordes kind of coincided.
Yep. Actually, we actually got hit worse in the late 70s. That was the big one. I mean, the shells of the cicadas, I swear to God, in certain yards are like almost a foot deep. It was awesome.
Oh, I remember all that. They covered everything. We had to actually, take a shovel and put them on the barbecue pit we had way back then just to get rid of them all.
Yep. Just to slow cook them.
Slow cook them, yeah. Occasionally you would hear some of them kind of squeal like they were dying. It was weird.
Oh, that's just the air escaping from the carapace.
But enough about that. Let's talk about DEFCON.
Yes, let's move on.
So how did you get started making wing sauces?
Well, I mean, a few people have heard this story. It's one I don't mind telling. It's kind of short and sweet. I've been making. We started back in about 2005 with the DEFCON idea. I'd been making wing sauces for about 10, 15 years before that, exclusively for Super Bowl parties. I mean, what a great test market! A bunch of drunk fools watching football, and I mean, if something sucks, they can tell you it sucked. So it sucked when I first started, and over 10 to tweaking here and tweaking there, actually came out with something. And by this time, friends and family are like, "Hey, John, can you whip me up a batch of that stuff? I'm having a big party." I'm like, "Hey, not a problem, man." So I whip it up, and over a couple of beers, about 8 years ago, sitting with my buddy Dave, just over a couple of beers, he goes, "John, everybody loves your sauce. Why don't you start up a company?" I'm like, "I'm a finance guy. What the hell do I know about the food company? I don't know the first thing." He goes, "Well, you're not going to know unless you try." Well, took the idea home to the wife. "Hey, honey, I got an idea." And I told her the idea. She goes, "How much is it going to cost?" I was like, "I don't have a freaking clue." And so we threw a bunch of money at the idea. We spent a lot more money than we should have, not knowing to go to a food lawyer as opposed to a regular lawyer, that kind of stuff. But we overspent. And, people ask me over the many years we've been in business, people are asking me constantly, what are the minefields? Where are the mines in the minefield? What do I miss? And I tell them, get yourself a food lawyer. That is a number one. Otherwise, they're going to rape you on research, lawyer research, into how the FDA works. Well, you don't want to have them digging into the FDA books because they'll be there for hours and you're getting charged $200 an hour. So I try to steer people, just go for a food lawyer. They're not the easiest ones to find, but they are out there if you're looking for them.
This first sauce that you created initially, has the recipe changed from what you currently have now with the defense condition sauces?
Absolutely not. I mean, that is the stuff I served. Going back almost 20 years. That's the exact same stuff I was serving at Super Bowl parties. We didn't change it in any way, shape, or form. I mean, it's a simple recipe with a dash of ancient Chinese secrets. But it is what it is. It hasn't changed, and it won't. I mean, why do it? I mean, there's no reason to change it. It's people are loving this stuff. So.
Oh, it's, in my opinion, the best wing sauce of all time. And I'm not just blowing smoke up your ass. I'm a huge fan.
That's my wife's job. Yeah.
So, anyway, that first product, did that become the defense condition number 2?
Actually, no. It was actually number 3 was the first. And
number 3, okay.
Yeah, because, I mean, not a lot of people can do the hot thing. A lot now, more and more. As of late, early on, a lot of people couldn't do the hot, and it was good for me. That's why I made the 2 and I made the 1. I would make up a big batch of 3, and that's what I handed out to parties, and people loved it. And then some guys would ask, "Hey, can you make it a little hotter?" I was like, "Oh, I got some stuff," and we kind of went from there. And then the 3 actually, when we first started out making it in my kitchen with a 2-gallon pot and a wooden spoon, I had friends buying the stuff, and it was basically put in sterilized Poland Spring quart bottles with a big number 3 written on it in a magic marker. That's basically how it started. And for samplers, I take the little teeny aqua pods of the Poland Spring water and sterilize them and serve them, just recap them and hand them out to people. That's how I started. And you got to start somewhere. But we're far from being professional at that point, getting an LLC made and all that kind of stuff, getting all legalized. And we say they started taking off by people liking it, and then we had to find a co-packer, which is I can tell you some stories. But you have to find the right co-packer, and I think we found our mecca with Adam and Endorphin Farms. It's not a plug. It's the truth. Adam does a bang up job, and we're back to what we had, what we're supposed to be. We had another co-packer. I will not mention names. I don't want to make any enemies. But the other guy, the stuff was coming out, and people were dropping like flies because it wasn't what it was supposed to be, and we weren't quite aware of that until we started seeing major separation in the bottles. Well, calm your fears, people. We're back, and we are back like a lightning bolt. The stuff is just caught on again like it did. We had about a 2-year lull where the stuff, we didn't realize it was that bad because we usually make our own stuff. And but man, I started seeing the separation in these bottles. I'm like, what is going on here? And so we got a hold of Adam, and man, he is number 1 in my book, and he brought it back to what it should be. And that's why we took the trifecta on the mild, medium, and hot. I think if I'm not mistaken, it's the first time a single wing sauce company has taken all mild, medium, and hot in the history of the Golden Chili Awards, and we took the trifecta this year. It was freaking awesome. We're back.
Congratulations. Very well deserved. And yeah, I could vouch for the subpar quality that the sauces have become with the previous co-packer, and now you're definitely back with Endorphin Farms.
Yep.
Excellent product. What about when you were first starting to market your company? Now, a lot of people don't know that you have a marketing degree. Now, how did you use that?
I'll tell you what. Yeah, I got an international marketing degree, and I worked for UPS for about 10 years. That was my idea. They partially put me through school, so did Dad, and all that kind of stuff. But got out of there with an international marketing degree, hoping to stay with the United Parcel Service to continue my career. Not even DEFCON wasn't even in the realm of possibility at this point. Well, all of a sudden I got downsized in '96. They laid off like 80 or 90,000 in '96, and I found myself on a street. I'm like, oh God. Well, that's when I started doing the finance stuff, and totally nothing to do with my major. And well, one of my previous jobs in the lovely '80s, I was one of those speaker guys selling stuff out of a van. I think we've all met them. That's where I got my stick-to-itiveness of not being shy to people anymore. Grew naturally. And I mean, I'll tell you what, if you get into the hot sauce business and you can't take rejection when you first start out, get out of the business, because you're going to end up hanging yourself in the rafters in the attic. It's not a good place to be if you can't handle rejection. And I mean, I started out, one of my first hitting spots was Hoboken, New Jersey. I mean, there's about over 100 bars within like a 2-mile radius area. And I started ground pounding. I got these little sample bottles of stuff in a little blue backpack, and I'm ground pounding, going from bar to bar. Get out of my store, you solicitor! Honestly, get out of here! Constant. I mean, if I could deal with that, I can deal with anything. And a couple of bars picked us up there, and I was like, wow, I actually made a sale. And then it really started to grow. And then I started to get the the rooster tail going, and I started running at it. And as you can see, I've been in the industry for about 8 years, going on 9. And hey, I'm not a shy guy now. At first, when we first started the site in 2005, he had one guy, I don't remember his name, but he got back to us. He goes, I think your stuff sucks. Oh, no, it's going to spread your name like dirt. I really took that to heart. I'm like, screw you, pal. But after that, I grew. I was like, I was sleepless that night. But after that little instance right there really put the whole thing in perspective. It's like, man, I got to be able to deal with this, the good and the bad. And if you can't handle the bad, I suggest you find another playpen to play in, because the hot sauce industry is not for you.
And then when it comes to marketing, you are a big draw at hot sauce shows.
Yeah. We have fun. I mean, so I'm out there. I put my face out there. I put the whole body, the whole creator uniform. It's just a lot of fun. And we grab the eyes. That's what marketing is all about. I mean, everybody's got these 5-ounce bottles and with the doubles and hot, flames and all kind of stuff. We don't go that route. We got chemical bottles. Hey, we're from Jersey. It kind of makes sense. Yeah. We got chemical bottles with a big biohazard thing on it. And hey, you go down the hot sauce aisle, and you got 5-ounce bottles with red labels, black labels, red labels, black labels. What the hell's a chemical bottle doing in the middle of that? Well, they're going to grab it. Well, that's marketing 101. If they grab it, they bought it. And that's basically how we came up with our whole bottling concept. And I think it's kind of cool too. The bottles, I mean, we pay a premium for the bottles. Don't get me wrong. They're actual lab glass. I mean, these are Boston Amber round bottles. But hey, it's the way we market things. We're not normal. There's a ton of great people in the industry, but only a few of them are out there kind of like, hey, where you going? Get over here. You like wings? I'm one of them. That's the way I was programmed. That's the way I'm built. And Maggie puts up with it. So we'll leave it at that.
Speaking of Maggie, what does she do for the company? Does she keep you grounded? Does she come up with the ideas?
She keeps me from buying a whole bunch of crap we don't need on eBay. I mean, I'm a gadget guy. I love my gadgets. My new one here, the little laser glove. Ooh, look at that. Ooh, pretty. But she keeps the wallet stuffed, and she does a lot of the background stuff. She'll do a lot of the books, quick books and all kind of stuff. She'll do the background stuff. This guy, Larry, is also kind of part of the company. Maggie, myself, and Larry, they both call me the lead singer of the band. And so my job is to get out there and draw people to the booth. Well, that's what I do. And and I have a ball at it. I mean, being able to yell at people and get away with it and have them walk away by selling, they bought something and they're laughing at me. Meanwhile, I'm insulting them. What a freaking awesome job, man. It doesn't get any better than that. That's the way we roll. And you come to any of our events, what you see is what you get. I mean, I'm the same at a small show, like a local bar or something like that, on DEFCON Day. We're handing out free wings. I'm the same guy is the guy at the big trade, like the big trade shows like Zest Fest and stuff. I'm the same. I don't change. There's no reason to change. I'm having fun with this company, and I plan on doing it for a lot longer. So,
well, when it comes to your booth, obviously it's one of the most head-turning booths. I mean, you have the strobe lights, you have the big warning signs and everything, and on top of that, you dress up and you call it what? The Mad Max meets Matrix?
Yeah, Mad Max meets. That's about the closest you're going to get, and the costume itself has evolved, and it will continue to evolve. I mean, it started out we had around that Travel Channel. If you go to the website, you click on the Travel Channel one. That was the white lab coat era. Then all of a sudden, I got the black trench coat with the razors on the back and all that kind of stuff. That's the next generation. It's always evolving. It's never going to stop. I have fun with the costume. My absolute favorite holiday out of season is Halloween. I have an absolute ball. Yeah, you can probably see. But I mean, it's the Creator uniform, and it's here to stay. And it's going to constantly be changing. So yeah, you never know what you're going to see at a trade show.
And then what you do is one of the things you're notorious for is having your zero chili pepper extract that you have people taste on a little stick.
Yep, and I love giving people pain and just God, voluntarily too, you know. And they'll be etching my initials in their porcelain the next morning. But hey, oh well. But hey, that's the way it rolls. But yeah, I mean, the zero is great, and you're supposed to have the next batch. Believe me, people, I hear you screaming at me on email. I get them all the time, and we should have had a batch out. I promised everybody to be out spring-ish. Well, Sandy took the whole thing away. It takes about 8 months to make that stuff. Basically a lab setup to make it, and Sandy took everything down to the distillation tubes away. That all went, and it went somewhere. I don't know where it went. I really don't care. So we're rebuilding on that. So the next batch of zero very early in the works. So the next batch of zero, you're not going to see it probably until at least late fall, because it does take 8 months. I mean, that's a labor of love and pain. But it's my own little baby. I think it's one of the very few, if the only, all natural extract on the market. I make it myself, and I mean it's ungodly hot, but it tastes good. So
yeah, I do have to vouch for that. I mean, I hate the taste of chili pepper extracts. Most people do, and you have some of the cleanest extract out there.
That's the idea. I mean, the extracts. I mean, there's a lot of sauces out there with it in it, and so many people have found that there's so much better out there than just the straight extract sauces and stuff. I kind of agree on the metallic, almost a bitter taste on the back end, and the old I call it the glurp, when your stomach kind of yells back at you like I'm coming, and then you better make this the green apple quick step, to the bathroom. I don't find it enjoyable. Oh yeah, it's crazy hot. Oh yeah, don't get me wrong, it's crazy hot, but that taste just doesn't do it for me. And I see a lot of people that have had extract sauces are totally turned off by them. Well, you might want to try the hot wing sauce, the DEFCON 1. It has extract in it, and you ain't going to taste it. And that we kind of figured out how to do it without having that metallic, almost a bitter taste to it. I just don't like that.
And how did your Deathmatch wing eating championships start?
They start as a fluke. People the original one was actually, we're going back to 2005. It was at the Alley in Berkeley Heights, New Jersey. If anybody's been in the industry long enough, they know Nick Landauer of Hot Sauce Blog. He took it, and that was 51 number one wings. And that's how it started. It was just number one wings. And it was basically how many you could eat. Well, I saw that. I was like, wait a minute, I can play with this. I can make this a hell of a lot worse. And I did. And that's evolving as well. I mean, every year it gets a little hotter. And Dave Huddleston, good old Hud, he's won a couple of them at Jungle Jim's Weekend of Fire. He'll tell you, you never know what you're going to get every year. Usually I'm going to hurt you a little bit more than I did the previous year. But the Deathmatch has really caught on. Locally, not as much. People have gotten scared. Nobody wants to do them, which saves me money from giving out a T-shirt and a trophy. But people they're scared of it. We can't get. I'm not going to force anybody to do it. It has to be absolutely voluntary. And sit down. I'll hurt you. And hey, maybe you get a trophy and a T-shirt out of it. That's the way it goes. But the Deathmatches really have caught on over the years, and it's kind of like I don't know, not mythical, but I can't even think of the word. It's become like a thing out of the ordinary that that people really want to, oh man, I could win that. Oh, cool. They can't be that hot. Those are the people I like. We've had plenty of people puke. We had one guy crap himself. I was in my glory on that one. But hey, what are you going to do? It's a YouTube moment. But hey,
where's the video?
Yeah, you don't want video of that. You had a hard time making friends afterwards. I'll tell you what. Just something about a stain on your shorts doesn't cut it. But no, I say it's something fun. It's something. I mean, the crowds get bigger and bigger every year whenever we throw one of these things, and everybody's rooting everybody else on. It's 9 minutes of abject painful bliss, and I love my job again. I love it, and people have a good time with it too. That's what it's all about.
Now, are you coming back to Jungle Jim's Weekend of Fire to do another deathmatch?
We are actually working on that now. I'm talking to Jim Beckett at the moment. He hasn't gotten back to me. The only issue we have is it's a hike for us, and we're putting our feet in the water, our toes in the water, for Zest Fest Midwest in June. We're going to get our feet with this to see how that goes. Now, we're talking about a 12-hour one-way trip. That's a hike. And I was actually unemployed for about 2.5 years until about 2 weeks ago. When I was unemployed, it was a little easier. Now it comes down to how many vacation days do I have left. So it's up in the air. I'm waiting for a call back from Jim, and we'll see how that works. But right now, I'm doing Zest Fest for sure. If I got to make a second trip out to Ohio, gas ain't cheap anymore. I got to play it by ear. I'm waiting for a phone call back from Jim. I'll leave it at that.
And speaking of the Deathmatch winging contest, you've used what you call the Deathmatch sauce as the base sauce to use. Now, in the past year, you developed the latest Deathmatch sauce called Cluck Wing Orange.
That's the baby right there. That's the one. And I have a feeling, I think you told me you really like it.
I called it my favorite wing sauce of 2012. It's phenomenal stuff. It's awesome. I guess that's maybe a contradictory thing, that something so hot can taste so damn good. Now, are you going to use this for a future contest as the base?
Actually, the way we work it, every year there's a new Deathmatch sauce. This is the Deathmatch Mark IV. However, we don't put out 1 million products, as you know. We don't put out 1 million products a year. We'll put out maybe a product every year or two, because we really want to get a good feeling if we're doing the right thing with a new product. We have samplers. We have restaurants. We give them samples, try it out on the customers, see what they say. And 9 times out of 10, they say no. But every once in a while, we come up with a hit. And this Cluck Wing Orange stuff, when I first developed it, it was a shot in the dark. And I did for the first time using a Trinidad Scorpion. Hey, you don't need much, obviously. And the stuff I gave Adam the recipe. He made it, and it was near dead on point to what I had at home. And that stuff just tastes good. It's hot, but it's not blow your face off hot. Anybody can make something hot. You add peppers to it. If you got to make it taste good. Flavor before fire.
Oh yeah,
that's what it is. I can make stuff hotter. Of course I could, but I wouldn't sell as much of it. I got that zero stuff. Yeah, I don't have it now. It'll come back again. I've got that. That's if you just want to be one of the crazy people. That's fine. The standard people buying stuff aren't those crazy people. They're looking for something they can actually palate and enjoy. And the Cluck Wing will be on our permanent menu. We're going to take the Deathmatch name off of it next year, because we'll have the Deathmatch Mark V next year. And that'll be a whole different animal. Every year, as you know, the Deathmatch does change. And it's kind of a test thing. We throw it out there. It becomes somewhat of a collector's item, I guess. And let's see what the Mark V does. You never know. We are always coming up with something. I got a couple of ideas in the box.
Oh, well, I can't wait to see. Hopefully, it'll taste just as good, if not better than Mark IV.
If it gets better, well, man, I've hit ambrosia.
Yeah, maybe you can call it ambrosia.
Oh, one never knows. Hellbrosia, something like that.
Hellbrosia. There we go. Well, one thing that my son Kevin, of course, he's a big DEFCON fan. Anytime
he's a great reviewer, dude. I caught a couple of those. But
anytime we have chicken here at our house, he's got to break the DEFCON sauce out. His favorite's number 2. Of course, that's my favorite as well.
That's number by far. Number 2 is our best seller, because it's a good balance of flavor and heat. You're not going to hurt yourself.
He had suggested for a future sauce of yours to call it OFCON, offense condition, to maybe it's sauce on the attack or something like that. Yeah.
You're kind of like exit wound, Yeah.
So that's an idea. I'm going to cross you again.
Absolutely not. And I'll tell you, and if we do something like that, Kevin's name will be on the bottle.
That's awesome. I'm sure I get a kick out of that.
Absolutely.
Well, I got to ask you, when it comes to wings, do you like fried, grilled? Do you like both?
I prefer, because I've been doing it the same way for so many years, fried. Canola oil, fry them up. I mean, we're usually doing big outdoor events, and we'll have 4, 5, 6 turkey fryers going. I'm manning the kitchen. No one come into my kitchen. And meanwhile, Maggie's handing out the wings to the masses. But I fry them up. People do them all different ways. And people always, I get a lot of people telling me, how can you fry them? They come out greasy. Not if you do them right.
Oh, exactly.
Well, canola oil. Yes, it comes from the rape seed. It sounds bad. Yes, it's like a CSI thing, but don't worry about that. It's canola oil. And so the canola oil, it adds no flavor, and it's not one of these nasty grease like vegetable oil or something like that. It's not gross like that. Doing canola oil, $3.75. Cook them not frozen. Don't throw frozen wings in the fryer. I've seen people do it. It's fun to watch from a distance. But anyway, put them in for only a few minutes, about 3 or 4 minutes. Now they're not cooked yet. Take them out. Take a two-prong barbecue fork. Puncture each wing part once and throw it back in the oil. That allows just a little smidgen of the canola oil to get inside the skin because it's already been sealed up from the hot oil. And it'll seal right back up again once it goes in the oil after a split second of letting a little bit in. That is it makes it like a Peking duck almost if you're familiar with it. Where separation of skin and meat. That's what you get. The skin is nice. The skin is nice and crispy. The meat is nice and tender. We've taken a couple of awards with this stuff. That's what wins awards is the wings have to be prepared correctly. Maybe I let a cat out of the bag. I don't care. But that's the way I do them, and that's what wins awards. That's what people, thousands of over the years, love. So everybody, yes, some people bake them, some people grill them, whatever. Do whatever you want to do. I can't tell you what to do with them, but my personal favorite is frying. Doing canola oil only in a turkey fryer. So that's the way we do them.
Yeah, I do both. I like both ways. Of course, with grilling, I like to just throw the wings out on the grill, put a couple wood chips down.
Yep.
A couple minutes before they're done.
Yep.
Just, slap on some Defcon sauce on both sides. Let the sauce kind of thicken up, and, they're beautiful.
It makes possum taste good.
Yeah. I've never tried that.
Oh, hey, give it a shot. Actually, guys, we get some really strange people online, and a couple of people, we get recipes and stuff like that from for a number of our customers, and it's been used on possum, and it's been used in possum pie. So I mean, it's kind of funny. I mean, this stuff's been used for everything from, oh my God, from squirrel to ossobuco. I mean, everything in between. It's become quite versatile in the culinary world. I'm actually coming out. Send me your recipes. I need more. We've got about 20 or 30. I want like 100. If anybody watching this thing when it comes out, I want everybody to send me recipes, what they use DEFCON on. Send me the recipes. We're really looking forward to unleashing a free downloadable PDF on the DEFCON site of DEFCON recipes. It's something I want to give back to everybody because it seems everybody's finding new ways to use our stuff. Well, why not share it with the world? So that's kind of what we're shooting for.
Very nice. Very nice. Looking forward to that.
Right.
I want to ask you, what is your favorite brand of beer to eat with wings?
Well, okay, it's not this. This just happens to be because I had a rough day today and I'm dead tired. I'm going to sleep soon. But
and he's holding up a can of Coors Light. Right?
Yeah, Coors Light. I know. I'm gonna. DEFCON, what are you doing? I know. Shut up. I know. This is my relaxation beer, just to kick back a couple before I go to bed. I don't really have a favorite. I personally, one of my favorites is Michelob Amberbach. If that makes any sense, I'm not a big fan of the regular Michelob, but the Amberbach, something about it, it tastes good with wings. And there's a couple of restaurants around here serving stuff up, and it works well. I'm not a big microbrew guy. I don't like spending $11 a six-pack for something 9.6% alcohol. I don't need that. I'm not 18 anymore. I like to enjoy a beer with the stuff. You drink to get drunk, that's fine. Not me. I drink to enjoy myself. And with Coors Light, I can do it all day. But anyway, it's like been just distilled through a weasel. But anyway, Amberbach tastes good. Beck's Dark tastes. I find that the darker beers taste better with wings. I don't know. That's just me. Not as far as Guinness. I'm not a big Guinness fan. I'll have one every now and then, but I'm not a big Guinness fan. But the darker, the porters and the just like a Beck's Dark or an Amberbach like that, they go really well with wings. Personal taste.
We are going to take a little commercial break, so stick around for a second half of this interview with John Dilley of DEFCON Sauces right after these messages.
Do you consider yourself to be a chilihead and want to find some hot new gear to wear?
Oh, yeah!
Look no further than chiliheadtees.com. If you're a heat freak and love hot sauce, chili peppers, or anything dealing with fiery and spicy foods, this is the place to get t-shirts to show off your obsession. Chili Head Tees is dedicated to giving you the hottest t-shirts, mouse pads, mugs, aprons, and more for the discriminating chili head. Go to chiliheadtees.com. That's ChiliHeadstees.com.
I'm Glenn Wells from Dock Talk, tournament bass fishing, finesse, and more on the Two Guys Talking Podcast Network.
Creature feature fan? Like to appreciate all things with fangs and entertainment? So do I. Hi, I'm Eric Peters, a voiceover artist from the Voice Farm. Be sure to visit every week to see what's new and search for great entertainment with real bite. Check it all out at fangbangerpodcast.com.
Travel. It's what everyone wants more of in their life. But wow, where do you start?
So many options, so many destinations, and finding the time in one's own schedule. You might think that all is lost, but there's hope on the horizon.
Tune into the Travel Planners Podcast with us, Sue and Kevin McCarthy, to learn about how best to travel, what cities to visit, and catch a glimpse of the variety of ways to make the most of your travel dollars.
From shopping for bargains in London's Portobello Antique Market,
watching monkeys groom each other as you sit on the balcony of your hotel in Malaysia,
sipping rum cocktails while enjoying the sunset over Bloody Bay in Jamaica,
staying up all night to observe St. Petersburg, Russia's White Nights Festival,
hiking the Great Wall of China,
enjoying the grandeur of the Grand Canyon, or enjoying an unbelievably first-class journey on the Cruise on Rails, the Grand Lux Express.
It's all available now on the Travel Planner Podcast with Kevin and Sue McCarthy on the Two Guys Talking Podcast Network, www.twoguystalking.com.
That's the number 2, guystalking.com. Did you get my underwear and stuff packed in the last bag?
I thought you did.
No, I didn't. Okay, be sure to check us out, the Travel Planners Podcast, on twoguystalking.com.
And we're back with more of the weekly Firecast. Okay, and you have a few other products as well. You have the horseradish, the hobby sauces,
yep,
and you have the Smokey Dust.
Yep.
How did those come about?
Well, Smokey Dust was just, it was a brain fart. Actually, it was just something that we just, let's try this. And it's basically a dried version of our medium wing sauce, the number 2, with a little bit of chipotle to throw in there to make it have a little bit of a smoky flavor. That's all it is. And people use it, but actually Maggie, who does not do hot, she uses it on kettle corn. She loves it on kettle corn. Fine by me. People use it. I like it on asparagus. I mean, it may sound a little strange, but people have gotten really creative with it, and it's got encapsulated vinegar in it as well. So if you're one of those low and slow guys at 203, 204 degrees with the ribs, put it on the night before. The vinegar will get in there. It won't. Everybody thinks vinegar tenderizes meat. It really doesn't. It kind of breaks it down a little bit. But if you're one of the slow and low guys for 8 hours, it'll cut it down by about an hour to an hour and a half, and you get the same damn ribs. And what wins you rib awards is something that the judges can't place. And the Smokey Dust adds just a little bit of a flavor that the judges don't understand where it came from. Case in point, last year, we went to the ICS, International Chili Society's World Championship Chili Cook-Off in Charleston, West Virginia. And we had just unveiled the Cluckwing Orange stuff. Well, we had a couple of these pro cooks that I've met. We do the Northeast Regional Chili Cook-Off up in Somers, Connecticut with Mike Friedman every year. We did it was our 7th annual was it 2 weeks ago? And we have a ball with the chili people. They're awesome. But anyway, we're at the ICS thing, the big game. I mean, the 50,000, I think it's 50 grand or whatever you win for winning this thing. It was just a stupid amount of people showed up to this thing. It was a huge to do. And the guys, the chili folks, to pick up a batch for the people and for competition. Well, they got their competition stuff already set. That's not going to change that day. But the stuff they handed out to the people, a couple of the chili cooks actually came up and said, "What's this stuff? This Cluckwing stuff?" I was like, "Well, I've tried it in chili. I think it tastes really good." "You think so?" I was like, "Hey, tell you what, take this squirt bottle back to your booth, squirt a little bit in the chili in a little bowl, bring me back the squirt bottle because I'm going to need it back, and you tell me." They loved it. And the people that now they're buying bottles of it. Now they're putting it in the chili. They're handing it out to the public. The public is loving it. And that will win you an award because the judges are looking for something they can't quite place that taste. There's something different about it. Oh, the consistency, the tenderness, it's all there. but there's a flavor in there they can't quite figure out. That's what wins you awards. That's the way that goes. But the horseradishes you mentioned, the hobby horse and the hobby pony, it's a very regional market. We're doing very well with them, especially that one I call the Gem in the Woods. In where is that? In Pennsylvania, Bowers, Pennsylvania. Mm-hmm. The annual Chili Pepper Festival. If you're anywhere near Pennsylvania in September, you got to go to this thing. This thing, it's crazy. It's insane. It's a Pennsylvania Dutch area, so they love their horseradish. We didn't know this the first year when we went there, and we thank God we're only about an hour and a half away. We had to restock. It was unbelievable. But it's a very regional market. A lot of people love it in their Bloody Marys, like down in the Delaware, Maryland area. A lot of people get it down there for their big Bloody Marys down there. I don't quite understand how it came about, but that's the way it is. But the horseradishes, we're actually thinking about coming out with a hotter one called the Nightmare. That's it's being worked on now, and we're also working on actually closely with not only Adam but Tracy from Jack's Tailgaters. We're going to be working on a couple of different dusts. And I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag on those, but you're in for a treat on these. These probably going to be a 3-set, not including the Smokey Dust. So it'll probably be 3 newbies coming out soon. We're working on the finals on them too. So hey, someone's always on the chalkboard.
Wow, I can't wait to try all those. You had mentioned the Bauer Show just a minute ago. What are some of your favorite hot sauce trade shows, festivals, all those kind of events to go to?
Well, I'll tell you what, I like local. We don't have very many of them. I tell you what, I got to give Steve Seabury some kudos here. That Brooklyn show a few weeks back, the man did it right. The man did it right, and it was amazing. We already signed up for next year. I mean, it's so close to home. God, it's 40 minutes away to Brooklyn. And that show was just that instantly a yearly show. We're going every year. The price is right for the vendors. It's not crazy. It's like $100, $200, whatever it was. It's not crazy. And the masses that showed up to that show for the first year was incredible. It was absolutely incredible. But Bowers is another favorite. That was a new one. Zest Fest had moved from September to January. And that week was the same week as Bowers. So none of I'm not going to say the big boys in the hot sauce, like Dino's and K-John and the group of us to go to do Zest Fest and the bigger trade shows. Well, it freed up that weekend. So we showed up to Bowers thinking, it's in the middle of a freaking park in the middle of nowhere. How good could this be? Holy God, dude. It's incredible. There's hundreds of vendors. Everyone's nice. I'm not used to this. Everyone's nice. And they have money. They spend. They're not grazers. I'm not going to say, not going to mention.
Go ahead.
Oh, no. I'm not going to mention New Mexico. But, did I say that? Anyway, it's not a bunch of grazers. These people come, they know what they want, they like what they taste, and they buy everything that they want, and they go back with bags full. I mean, it is one hell of a show. We also do, it's smaller, but in Easton, PA, they have the annual Chili Pepper Festival thing. Yeah, you get, I think it was only me and Dragonfire. I'll put a shout out to Dragonfire. It was me and him. I think the first was 2 years ago, and then we had a few more hop on. Red Tail and names aren't coming to me right now, but there was about 4, 5, 6 of the chili pepper people there. It's a decent show. There's a lot to do. I mean, Easton's got a pretty good gig going on down there. I think that's in October, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. Then the other ones. I mean, we have DEFCON days. We're always doing something local. The Zest Fest, love it. Love Zest Fest. It's a hike. I mean, there's airfare and everything like that. And, the freight and all that, which is it kind of rubs on the wallet a little bit, especially after you got clobbered by the hurricane thing. It's just a little rough to do, but we do it because we love the people running it, and we like the show. Actually, we met up with June DeRose and her husband Kevin down in San Antonio a couple weeks ago. Maggie. My birthday was April 26th, the day that the new website was supposed to come out. But Maggie, for my birthday, pulled one over me. I'm not an easy guy to get over on. And she totally, it was my parents and her involved. She had been planning this thing since January. Got me out to San Antonio on birthday weekend, me not even knowing it until I was sitting on the freaking plane. We met up with June and all kind of stuff. It was very cool. I got some pictures that I'll be throwing up on Facebook. Other than that, I mean, we're doing one up in Pomona, New York. I think it's in September. I can't remember the name of it. It's going to be inside of a stadium. We're going to give that one a shot. There's one up in Rhinebeck, New York. We want to do. Things are starting to blossom out, which is kind of cool. I mean, there's really not been a lot here in the Northeast. I'm not doing these big buffalo wing extravaganzas like I'm in Buffalo, New York. If I'm from Jersey, I ain't got a shot in hell of winning. So why even bother? I see all these new things popping up, and every Bowers popped up. Then all of a sudden, the Easton popped up. Then Brooklyn popped up. these things are starting to little pop up in the regional areas, which gives the smaller companies a much better chance of getting their product out there with less cost, as opposed to the big ones like in Albuquerque and in Dallas. It gives them a chance to not like dump the wallet. Go out there, see how you are with people, for one. If you suck being with people, get the hell out of business. But it allows you to find out where you sit. Taste other people's sauces. There's going to be dozens of people. Try their stuff. Is it as good as yours? Does your stuff suck compared to those? How can you make yours better? That kind of thing. You're going to know from sales. We're going back to square 101. If your stuff's not selling, you're not doing it right. And but that's getting back to the trade shows. Bowers, it's Brooklyn, and we do a couple of farmers markets on Saturdays around here. Those are my favorites because they're close. For distance, I like Zest Fest. It's a personal thing. I like Texas. I like meat, so Texas is a good place to go for meat. So yeah, it's kind of a good fit. I mean, we've kind of consolidated a little bit because we used to do all the big shows, and it really wasn't too happy on the wallet. And it's all about the wallet. That's what you got to remember too. I mean, you can be selling stuff, but if you're buying stuff and selling stuff, you ain't making money. So if you're buying plane tickets and stuff like that, well, that's how many cases of hot sauce you got to sell to get that money back for those tickets. You got to think about that stuff too, which a lot of people don't. I made $3,000 at the show. What did it cost you to do the show? What do you mean by that? Get back to me on that. And also, they'll sleep it off that night and see me tomorrow morning. Oh man, we only made $800. That's my point. I went through those growing pains. It sucks. You think you did great, and now you're just barely breaking even. It's not a good feeling. And I think a lot of the up and coming trade show people that like a Steve Seabury understand this plight that a lot of these smaller companies have, is the fact that the big shows cost a lot of money. I mean, you're talking thousands of dollars out of pocket, exactly. Especially if you got to do freight and drayage and airfare and renting a car and hotel room and food. It ain't cheap. So these small regional ones are popping up. I hope they're popping up. I don't hear much about little ones popping up around this area. If it's somewhere else, I don't hear about those. If something's popping up in Indiana, I don't know about the small ones. But for the small, the up and coming hot sauce people, keep an eye out for those. Keep an eye on the farmers markets. I tell you what, farmers markets can be very lucrative. You got to be very choosy on which ones you do, because some of them will get you on how much to set up for a booth. I mean, we got them here for the year of like from June to I think it's October. They want to charge you $2,000. Well, I don't do that one. I do the one that's $25 a day, and that way I can actually make money. You got to really pick and choose. Your wallet is your best friend, but can be your worst night because you wake up in the morning and where did all my money go? Well, you didn't make any because you spent too much. You really got to think about that kind of stuff. So just saying.
Kind of along the same line there of thinking, do you think becoming big locally or regionally is better than becoming big nationally?
I do. I really do. I'm a firm believer in that. And there's only a select few out of the hundreds of companies out there. There's only a select few that can actually call themselves national. I mean, I can call myself national. Yeah, okay, we're available in all 50 states and in like 24 countries. I'm not a national chain thing. I'm not a national guy. I consider myself to be very regional. I'm from Jersey. It's kind of funny. In the Jersey area, we don't sell that much. It's growing, but we don't sell much in the Jersey area. It's everywhere else that we sell it good. There's not a lot of big national guys out there. Now, you're never going to find our stuff on ShopRite or anything like that because they want it for $1 less than you paid to make it. I'm not running that route. Now, Walmart, never gonna see me at Walmart. I'm never, ever going there. Our thing is small mom and pop gourmet stores. That's where the money is. We're not making millions of gallons at a time, so we're being charged a premium to make the product. They, as a gourmet mom and pop store, charge a bit of a premium to sell the product. It's kismet. They make money, I make money, and the customer spends money. But they're buying a product they like, so they'll be back to buy it again, supporting the little store, supporting the mom and pop. And that's my parents have been running a store now for 40 years. Dad was a big corporate guy with computer sales and stuff like that for years. Mom, since 1973, has had a little antique store called the Bee and Thistle in Maplewood, New Jersey. Hey, there's a plug, Ma. But anyway, this year is our 40th year in business. Our whole family is all around business-minded people. I started the DEFCON thing with just a shot in the dark, and it actually worked. Mom did the same thing. We grew up in Army posts for my formative years. Moved to Jersey in '73. Lived in West Point before then, and then Fort Knox, and God, whatever forts you name it, we lived at. And we did that. And then we moved to New Jersey. And here we are. Well, that little business mind thing was taught to me very early by my parents, and it really sunk in. My sister's the same way. We have the entrepreneurial mindset, and it really makes you get out there and do something for yourself as opposed to having to rely on somebody to do something for you. I don't work that way. Everything I make, I make myself by doing it, not by somebody handing me something. So that's kind of how we roll. So I guess that was a bit of a tangent.
That's okay. It's allowed on the show. We don't have time constraints. Where do you see DEFCON Sauces in another 5 or 10 years?
Bigger than we are now. How about that? There's a nice short answer. No, I mean, we're always looking for new markets. I mean, 5 years ago, if you told me we'd be at where we're now, I'd be laughing at you. I'd be laughing at me. You never know. I mean, I would love to be in every gourmet store in the world. I mean, that's a pipe dream. It doesn't work that way. But as the name gets out, we do not advertise anywhere. We do not spend a dime on advertisement. We gave that up because buy high, sell low. And we were the official wing sauce in the Jersey Devils for a while, and that didn't work. It did. It was great sales and stuff like that, but they wanted a lot for the contract, and so it was almost a break even. We were in Madison Square Garden for about 5 or 6 years. Well, they had cutbacks too, so they wanted to go back to franks and butter. Fine. But anyway, which was 26 cents less a serving than mine. But anyway, I'm just talking. But so we got out of that one, and we tried a couple of advertising things, and not one of them worked. And so we decided no more of this. It's going to be word of mouth. And that's how it's been. Now, our mainstay, we've gotten so many damn little stores by customers saying, oh, man, is there any way I can get you stuff locally? I was like, well, what do you mean? He goes, well, I'm in California, and the shipping from Jersey is kind of rough. I'm like, then go to a local store, not a ShopRite, not an A&P, not a Piggly Wiggly. Get yourself to a mom and pop, I guess not bodega if you want to call it that, just a mom and pop store that sells kind of cool stuff food wise. Tell them about us. And they do. And inevitably, they get a couple of people in there. Now it's on the shelf. Now they can buy it. And they don't have to pay the shipping. That's how we market. It's all by word of mouth. People like what they have, so they're going to try to get it nearby to them. That's a word to the wise. It's just get your name out there and get your people to do your own advertising for you. It saves money. And when they buy hats and T-shirts, that's good too. So yeah, you got to get the name out there, and advertising. Yeah, you can take out ads in magazines for hundreds or thousands of dollars and stuff like that. We choose not to go that route. Yeah, okay, we may sell a couple more cases, but does that couple more cases really pay for that ad magazine? For some it may, for most it doesn't. And I know that by talking to many of the up and comings over the years, saying, oh man, we spent so much X and X for an ad, and God damn, we only sold a couple of bottles. And I was like, well, doesn't that suck? You live and learn, and those people learn the hard way. I did too. I started the same way. We were advertising everywhere, didn't get anywhere, so we don't advertise anymore. Don't have to.
What do you think is the one question that you wish somebody would have asked you before, but they have never done that? Do you think, boy, I wonder why they've never asked me about this aspect of it or that thing?
No, I mean, I am out there, man. I am DEFCON on my sleeve. I don't hold back anything. People have asked us all sorts of whacked out questions. And, hey, what's with the leather mask? Why are you looking like a gimp? Shut up. I hated that movie. We've gotten asked a ton of questions, and I am more than happy to answer them. I think over the years, people have become, they feel like safe asking me any question they want to about the industry. I don't hold back. I started from nothing. I can tell you how to save money by avoiding these little minefield things. So the questions, I don't really think there's any that have not been asked. Honestly, I'm out there, and I will answer, as I always have, answer any question anybody has about any aspect of the industry. I don't know it all. I never claim to, but I can tell you from personal experience, being around for, a little less than 10 years, that's a pretty good track record. I know of dozens of people that never made it this far, but there'll be dozens more. I feel sorry, but you got to have some kind of a game plan in mind. You can't go in totally blind. You have to have some kind of a game plan on how am I going to market this stuff. Honestly, I didn't really have much of a game plan, but when I first started getting sales, man, I developed one, and I ran with it. Don't look back. Everything back from you is behind you. Always look forward, because forward is new horizons. All you have behind you is a setting sun. Always aim for the sun coming up on the other side of the horizon. Never look back. If you keep that mindset, and you got to keep positive, man. If you can't deal with rejection, get out now. Save yourself some money. Save your wife a lot of yelling because it's not working. Just get out of the business. I think what was his name? Mild to Wild.
Jim Campbell.
Yes. We sat at Risky's many years ago during the Zest Fest thing afterwards in the stockyards. I got him a little Jim. He doesn't really drink a lot. Well, he did that night because he was sitting with me. Really started getting into his head. And he said to me, and it's words of the wise, and Jim, thank you so much, man. It really hit me good and stayed with me. If you're looking to make quick money in the hot sauce business, you're in the wrong business. I got a great hot sauce. Well, I'll be selling millions of bottles. Well, not if the stuff sucks, dude. Well, have you tried it anywhere? Well, I like it. That's great. You ever thought about getting it out there, taking it to like local places and having it? Well, how to do that? I like it. It's got to be good. Okay. Why don't you roll with that, pal? And hey, I'll see you on the unemployment line. It doesn't work that way. You've got to get yourself out there, and it's going to take a while. I mean, yeah, there's some companies out there that hit the ground running and got lucky with contacts and stuff like that. That's all fine and dandy with me. I don't go that route. I'm not connected anywhere. I do everything with my own, by what I think of and who I contact and who perhaps contacts me. That's the way I work. And not many people know people to be able to be everywhere at all times. For us, as a two-man show, well, sorry, Maggie, a man and a woman show. I mean, she's sleeping right now. She has to go to work at midnight. Thank God. Otherwise, I'd be getting a Denozo on the back of my head. But it's the two of us, and it's always been the two of us. We have helpers and stuff like that, but it's always been the two of us doing 99.9% of the work. I mean, with both of us working, there's not a lot of time to really go out there and, meet up with the TV markets and like that, because I only have X amount of vacation days a year, and so does she. How are we going to spend them? Are we going to go scuba diving? Are we going to go shooting? Are we going to go, what are we going to do? We only have 10 to 15 days a year, and half of them are taken up by trade shows. So I can't, I'm going to take off Wednesday. I'm going to go be on Fox News. Well, I was on Fox News. You know why? Because I didn't have a job. So, I mean, that's kind of how that works. Just stay with it. If you think you can do it, you will. It's persistence. Don't look at your wallet all the time, but know it's there. And it's always looking at you with a big evil grin like, ooh, I want to lose weight. Don't let it. Feed him well, and he'll be your best friend. But I mean, that's what it comes down to. There's no quick money in this industry. I mean, yeah, of course there's anomalies, but there's no quick money. All of a sudden, bam, I'm in the business for 1 year, and I'm buying a mansion and a yacht. It doesn't work that way.
Well, we discussed quite a bit tonight. Where could people find you?
They can find me in Jersey. But no, they can, DEFCON Sauces, DEFCON and actually, I do have an announcement. This is supposed to happen back on my birthday in April 26th, but it hasn't, as everyone pretty much knows. It has been following the boring threads of me saying it'll be a few more days. Yeah, we are. We're launching a brand new website. We've had the same website since 2005. It's gotten stale. Something about front page 2003 doesn't cut it anymore. We're doing a major upgrade. Me, Scott, and I have talked about the Unix thing, but I can't believe I even said the evil U word. But anyway.
How dare you?
Yeah,
I can edit that part out.
I'm going to put my own foot, my own ass tonight before I go to bed. Launching a brand new website. It's going to be totally interactive. It's going to be very cool. And when it does launch, there's going to be a couple little things, little quirks or whatever. Tell me what the quirks are that you find, and if you want anything on that site, you tell me what you want, and we're gonna listen to everybody. This site it's gonna be huge. Plus, we're gonna have something really cool to offer when the site does launch. Now, Scott had told me previously that this is going to be a delayed showing. So hopefully by the time you see this, kind of sounds like one of those movies where you're watching your dead uncle on a VCR. But when you see this, that means that the site is on. We're doing a couple of very cool things, and I think people are going to be very, very happy when they do go to the new site. And we're going to be offering some really, really cool stuff on the site with the new launching. And I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not going to go into what it's going to be or how it's going to be. You'll know when it does come around. If you're not on the mailing list, get on it. Go to the website. Click on Contact Us, because the cool stuff that's going to be available when the site launches is only going to be available for a limited time. But anyway, I'll leave. No more cats out of the bag. That'll do it. But yeah, new site, cool stuff. Check out the new site. You're going to love it. It's a hell of a lot better than the site we got.
DEFCON Sauces, and of course, if you're listening to this in a car or something, I could put the link in the show notes for everybody to click on later, so you don't go careening off the road trying to write the
sparklies.
So, John, always a pleasure talking to you. Looking forward to seeing you at Zest Fest Midwest.
Absolutely.
And take care. Thank you very much.
Keep the hot sauce faith, dude.
Again, John's website is DEFCONSauces.com. For more information about the product reviews of the week, you can simply go to southernrecipe.com. The official Weekly Firecast website, you can either go to weeklyfirecast.com or the numeral 2 guystalking.com/Firecast. Again, my main blog is scottrobertsweb.com. And in this closing segment, I always invite everyone to follow me on the social networks. You can find me at facebook.com/ScottRobertsWeb, like my page there. You can follow me at twitter.com/ScottRoberts. And now the last part of my show is always dedicated to the retweeters and the resharers. And how this works is whenever I post a link to a brand new episode of the Weekly Firecast on Facebook, on Twitter, Google+, wherever, if you share it, if you retweet it, I will mention your name or your company's name in the very next episode. So to people who retweeted the link on Twitter for last week, they are Sean Mundell, his Twitter handle is @TGuzzler, World Hot Sauce, their Twitter handle is @World Hot Sauce, Danny Orozco, his Twitter handle is @HotSauceFiend, Midwest Chili Heads, his Twitter handle is MWCHS, Anthony, his Twitter handle is @AC, the numeral 4, Bucks, Don Lane, his Twitter handle is DonJay56, Volcanic Peppers, and their Twitter handle is @VolcanicPeppers, and Karma Sauce, and their Twitter handle is @KarmaSauce. And sharing the link on Facebook were Born to Hula Hot Sauce. They're a great hot sauce company. Their website can be found at borntohula.com. There was Alan Giella. Thank you very much, Alan. There was Adam Furr of Endorphin Farms. Thank you very much, Adam. Of course, individually, there was Amy Shrewsbury of Born to Hula Hot Sauce. Thanks for the shout out, Amy. There was Ken Alexander, my cohort and host of the Ken's Fiery World segment here on the Weekly Firecast. And lastly, there was Chef Kaz of El Gringo Loco, makers of some salsas and sauces. Thank you very much, Chef. And again, whenever I post a link to a new episode of the Weekly Firecast, for thanks in you helping us spread the word, I would give a shout out to you or your company in the next episode. It's a little great way of hearing your name or your company's name, a little bit of free advertising, hint, hint. Last but not least, I would like to invite everyone to give your feedback on this episode or any other previous episodes of the Weekly Firecast. Anything positive, any constructive criticism, any suggestions or feedback about particular topics or guests or things that you want to hear on the show, let me know about them. Simply go to weeklyfirecast.com, go to the simple contact form, and send in your feedback. Very simple. So that wraps up episode 35 of the Weekly Firecast. Thanks to everybody for listening and spreading the word about the podcast. So until next time, God bless everyone, and remember, keep it burning.
This has been the Weekly Firecast. Make sure to subscribe to this podcast via iTunes or at the official website at scottrobertsweb.com/weeklyfirecast. The Weekly Firecast is part of the Two Guys Talking podcast network. For more information on other great Two Guys Talking programming, you can go to twoguystalking.com. That's the number 2, guystalking.com. Thanks for listening. And remember, keep it burning.